Welcome back to Warden Law in Sunderland for the final round of the 2021 Nitro Lord Ultimate Karting Championship, where next out on track is the turn of Snr Rotax. And the young man who's sitting in 7th place in the championship right now is Maciej Kamara. And he's another young driver who's honing his skills both on and off the track, already building quite a high-profile career as a motorsport journalist and commentator. And he's getting really rather good at it. I think I might have some competition.
My name is Maciej Kamara. I have the number 12 on my cart and I race in Snr Rotax.
Maciej, great to see you here this weekend. It's a wet weekend. How are you finding it out there?
Well, it's wet, as you say. I don't think I need wet, so I need oars out there, to be honest. But yeah, we've kind of just developing. We haven't had as much testing in the rain as we would have liked, so it's quite good to get out there and kind of progress with the setup and so forth. But I think we're getting there. We're getting there.
How much of a difference is it for someone like yourself who's a privateer to the guys that are under the bigger awnings with the teams? I know you're with Chaos Sport now, but you've got experience of both.
The privateers are running at the front, hats off to them, because that takes serious skills. We know how difficult it is because we've been there. When you've got multiple mechanics around you, the data, all this stuff, you can quite easily get yourself from a problem situation to a competitive situation. But as a privateer, you can get lost so quickly. Sometimes you don't have anyone to turn to. With a team, it's a lot easier to be competitive. And then it's just up to the driver, really, if you can maximize using the team.
Outside of racing, you're building up some great skills with the social media. You're actually looking to build some journalism and motorsport commentator skills.
I write for Downforce Radio as well as the Virtual Racing Association on my blog. It's called On the Apex, which kind of just describes my racing stories and the adventures I have. And I try to work race commentary when I have the time, mostly running from the paddock to the comm box and then back getting my helmet to try and race. And I enjoy it, and that's what I really like about it.
Coming to the end of the year, what are you looking at doing next season? What's the future hold for Maciej?
I've been to a couple of business meetings trying to get some sponsors around, still looking out for sponsors if you want to contact me. But that's just trying to get a program together. I'd like to do Europe as well as the UKC. This is a fantastic championship. I've really enjoyed it. Just luck hasn't really gone our way too far this season, but the speed has always been there, so I'm not really worried about that. But it's just that one step forwards, that not having 500s but 200s difference, or being 200s in front of the guy in second. That's what we're aiming to do. So Europe for next year, if we can do it, and hopefully stay in this fantastic championship.
Do you see commentary and presenting and perhaps, aspiring to be like Jake Sanson as a way that you could end up going?
Most commentators should look up to Jake Sanson. He does an absolutely incredible job. Definitely one of the best in the business, in my opinion. Not just in karting, but in motorsport in general. He's absolutely fantastic. I've definitely picked up some tips and some hints to help me. But yeah, also Jake's helped me a lot to get me into Downforce, and he kind of knew me from a couple of years ago when I did a bit of commentary for him. So he knows my value, or at least I hope so anyways, to bring me on board. And yeah, and he's been just a tremendous help, really.
Maciej, best of luck for this weekend, and let's see how you get on.
Thank you.
Well, best of luck to Maciej for the future. Back to the championship though, and looking at the top of the table, and it is all about the battle between Lewis Gilbert in second and Sean Butcher in first. Let's see if Sean can hold off Lewis in this, the final one in 2021. Here's Jake.
Sean Butcher versus James Lingard to the first corner. Sounds spicy to me. Kai Hunter and Stephen Napier, then Chrissy Miller and Dan Armstrong. Lewis Gilbert will be there with Tommy Edmonds, John Knox and Louis Harvey in the top 10. Watch out for James Lowther. Oliver Meadows will be there in the mix as well. Maciej Kamara wanting to try and make some progress back after a difficult run in the first part of the heats. But here we go, up to the first corner, and already Sean Butcher, who has made the switch to a Sody Kart chassis for this latter stage of the season, is there in the first corner and up the inside. That's a move from John Knox as he gets a nice launch. We're on board with Louis Harvey on the Argenti car, but John Knox for Cannon on the Expert chassis right there in the mix as he tries to fight his way forward. They bounce over the curves up towards Senna 1, up towards Senna 2. This is where, on the first lap, you've got to stay in the hunt. You need to make sure you don't get spat out to the scenery. Steve Brown in the middle of the mix there as well, as they all feed their way through, and there's an off! There's an off, and there's a couple of drivers actually skating off the turn, and a spin in the middle of the road. Another one as well out of Senna 2. How tricky are these conditions on the opening lap?
Kart spinning all over the place. Plenty of action in the 27th through to second place. That's Sean Butcher.
Yeah, Kai Hunter has managed to get the lead and has already started to disappear. Baker down on the inside of John Knox, and Steve Brown trying to get through on the inside of Oliver Meadows as well. It's absolute flotsam and jetsam at Warden Law.
Alex Baker, full metal jacket down the inside. He was taking no prisoners and losing it on the exit in the final turn.
Oh, it looks like Sean Butcher, who is about to seal the championship, is not going to worry too much about Kai Hunter up front. This is Hunter's back garden, literally. He can just disappear out in front and enjoy the run, but this is a tough battle. Chrissy Miller trying to get through on James Lingard, and then Lewis Gilbert, of Persistence Motorsport, 5th position as he runs in front of Dan Armstrong. Still having a great tussle. Harvey, Napier, Knox and Baker in the top 10. Then Lowther, Steve Brown, Super GT himself having a great end to the season. Oliver Meadows, Tristan Rennie, Thomas Wood, Oscar Hull and Magic Amera. Great racing so far on this opening tour. Brilliant stuff and a great tussle. Oh, and a spin there. I saw Oliver Meadows. I think Tristan Rennie just got a little bit too close and ended up giving him a love tap into a pirouette. So that's all gone horribly wrong. There's Stephen Napier trying to get through on the inside of Louis Harvey. Job done. Oh, and there was nearly an attempt from Alex Baker. Goodness me, he just about bailed out of that one in time.
Baker's on it, Jake. He's taking no prisoners today whatsoever. As we're on board here with Louis Harvey. Louis brought us some fantastic on-board pictures all season long.
Yeah, he's definitely been Mr. Entertainer, that is for sure. Now, we watch as they go through turn 1, and that's the 35 that's moved forward. Dan Armstrong on the Alonso kart chassis in front of the 19 of Stephen Napier. Watch for Lewis Gilbert. He's now tucked up right in behind James Lingard, and he is set to become the vice champion of 2021. Now he's going to make his move on the inside, but round the outside, James Lingard, the outgoing champion, is going to lose 1, 2, 3 places on the exit. Not great for James Lingard, but that just shows you if you go to battle with Lewis Gilbert, be prepared to come out second best, because Gilbert is absolutely large and in charge in that apex.
Yeah, he was just on the outside, hung out to dry and lost places as a consequence, trying to gain the place back. He ended up losing 3.
There's the move on the inside from Napier. He gets through on Armstrong. Lingard's going to sweep in on the inside and split the difference. Brilliant move, and now he's made up 1 place. He's going to try and go for the next one on Stephen Napier. Surely he won't get the run onto the hairpin on the inside line in the final turn.
We had somebody slowing in the horseshoe. Couldn't quite see who it was, but somebody out of the race there.
Yeah, problems. It looks like Les Taylor's already dropped out of the fray, so it could well be Les Taylor. Obviously, Scott Dunsmore, Fraser McFadden and Thomas Liauticus were not able to start the race, so problems for them before we even got going. A shame that they couldn't showcase what they can do. Now, big challenge for Lingard. Armstrong looking this way and that way, trying to find a way past. Can't make it happen. Louis Harvey is loving this because he's just reeling them in, eating up the road as they go through centre 1, into centre 2, up the inside goes Armstrong, cuts across on Lingard. That'll do, gets the place back that he originally lost, and now Louis Harvey's trying to get through on James Lingard. The man who won the 2020 UKC title is really struggling even to stay in the top 5 in this race at Warden Law. How hard do the mighty fall? James Lingard still fighting his way back though. He's not given up. On the inside again of Armstrong. Not just yet, but he's definitely thinking about it. Armstrong, Lingard, Harvey. Oh, Alex Baker exits stage left and then somehow recovers without losing a place. Good recovery. Still great battles all the way through the field. A little further on. My goodness! Big launch from Baker and he dives in on the inside of Harvey. Nudges him out of the way. That's the NASCAR move. And now he's taking on Oscar Hull. What a beautiful dive. Somebody should get Elon Musk on the blower. He's launching more than SpaceX.
Yeah, I used the term full metal jacket for him earlier because he's taking no prisoners whatsoever, and there's an example in those few turns.
That is a delicious bit of diving from Alex Baker. He's giving us plenty of grandstand stuff here as they tiptoe their way through the apexes in the mid-pack, just trying to get a little bit of traction. Steve Brown trying to close up on I think that's Louis Harvey that's lost a little bit of ground there thanks to Baker's sideways shenanigans. Now on the inside, Rennie goes for Hull, side by side. Little bit of room to play with, but not a lot thanks to Hull, and Hull now drifts off the road. He goes wide onto the grass, and that has dropped him all the way down into the depths of the midfield behind Meadows. So what a shame. It was going so well. Now Super GT is going to take on Louis Harvey. Here he goes on the inside. Well, the work he's been doing for Quadrant, Lando Norris supporting him all the way. And Steve Brown now starting to make some big moves. His progress through 2021 has been absolutely superb, and there's the proof. He makes his launch on the inside of Louis Harvey, and now Magic Amera's closing in as dropping it off the road goes John Knox, and he manages to get back into it. Here comes Magic Amera. Now he's going to try and get the move on Louis Harvey. As we go on to the last lap, Kai Hunter He's going to finish off on the podium in 2021, but this is his back garden. He's not going to make a single mistake.
We've not seen him the entire race, Jay.
No,
but,
indeed.
that's because he is so far clear. He's 4 seconds clear of Sean Butchett. Butchett's going to take the championship, but Hunter will take the race.
He's had the most boring race of the entire weekend out in front because he's just dominated. Excellent stuff. Kai Hunter, what a victory to bow out of the season. Sean Butcher, though, is the champion of 2021 in Snr Rotax. Chrissy Miller comes home in 3rd position. Look back and we will see Stephen Napier in 4th position ahead of Lewis Gilbert, who has deservedly come home as the vice champion. There he is, the 29 vice champion 2021. Great work from him ahead of Dan Armstrong and James Lingard. And here's the showman himself, Alex Baker, coming home in the top 10. Excellent racing from Alex Baker. He really has delivered so much drama in this final. Kai Hunter, your winner from Sean Butcher and Chrissy Miller. Napier, Gilbert and Armstrong. James Lingard in 7th ahead of Steve Brown after penalties. Alex Baker drops only to 10th, surprisingly, just a whisker behind John Knox. But Kai Hunter delivers on home soil and in his back garden. Who knows what he could give us in 2022?
We had strong pace in the wet, so going into that final was a little bit damp still. So I just had to bring out all the stops and do what I needed to do.
And who do you want to thank? You've had a couple of wins this year. It's been a pretty good season for you. Who do you want to thank?
DHR, Time Racing Engines, my mechanic Liam Wright, and mechanic this weekend JP, and everyone else has been involved.
We better get off before the wind blows away.
Yeah, I think this tent's coming down as well.
Well done.
The wind almost as fast as Kai Hunter over the finish line. Sean Butcher ahead of Lewis Gilbert by 20 points in the championship standings. A further 10 ahead of Kai Hunter. Alex Eads, Louis Harvey and Tristan Rennie finish up 2021 in the top 6 in what's been a brilliant season. I can't wait to see what UKC gives us next year.
So sadly, that's all we have time for, but we have already crowned then 4 champions in the 2021 Ultimate Karting Championship. Good news is we still have 4 more to crown and they'll be coming to you in the next programme that'll feature the IAME classes. Until then, from all of us here at Warden Law, see ya.